This is the 350 watt geared hub motor design from E-BikeKit.com. These guys offer a wide range of kits, and I'm going to go over the specs on this one, but I just want to talk about why it might be your choice versus the direct drive motors. They've got like a 500 watt one. The 500 watt motor is a little bit more powerful, but it doesn't provide quite as much torque. It's a little heavier, and it does have some rolling resistance. So if you're pedaling, you're getting a little bit of drag. Whereas this, it has a freewheel, which means you can spin it and there's no drag. The gears just sort of, they let it spin. Which is cool, and it's a little bit smaller, a little bit more unassuming. The gears give you a little more torque, so I can imagine commuting, pedaling, you're enjoying your ride, and then you help yourself to get up a hill or help yourself against the wind, but you're using this a little bit more like a bicycle than a scooter. And that's just, it's kind of my observation, I guess. You could really use this however you wanted, but it's kind of what comes to mind. So in this case, it's built into a 26-inch rear wheel. You can also get it in a front wheel design if you want. The rear makes sense in a lot of cases because, this part of the bike is a little bit more, it's a little stronger. It's like reinforced, and that's where the power from you as a rider pedaling also goes into the rear. And so it's kind of just built to have more force on the rear. They do offer a torque arm, which is sort of a lever that can come up and it adds even more strength. This bike doesn't have it just because it's so strong. The motor, it's 350 watt gear design, as I mentioned earlier, and let's see here. There's their logo. Here's an example of it kind of freewheeling. I'm just gonna lift up the bike. See how easily that spins? There's not a lot of drag or anything happening. Maybe the brakes are rubbing a little bit. Here's the controller box, and one of the things they're touting now is that it's got 12 FETs instead of 9, and they're these sort of modulator parts inside that allow it to output a greater amount of power. The older kits, they offered like 20 amps. The newer ones offer 22, and it's a little bit smoother. It's kind of a quieter design, so that's what's in there. I don't love that you have to like tack it to the side of the bike like this, and I suppose maybe you could put it in the bag or somewhere else, but that's how it's designed. It's separated from the battery pack itself. The battery pack, standard one here, is 36 volt, 9 amp hours, and it's a sealed lead acid design. So it's heavier and it's bulkier than a lot of lithium ion packs. This is sort of older technology, but it's sort of tried and true, and it's much more affordable. So this pack's gonna get fewer charge cycles before it starts to wear down. If you deep cycle it, which means run it all the way to dry and then charge it and all the way to dry, that's harder on the chemistry. It's better to just kind of like partially cycle it. And the really neat thing about this setup is it's got this nice kind of display panel up here, so it lets you know precisely how much battery you've used. Some of their older kits, they didn't have anything like this, and you kind of had to guess, or maybe there's like an LED backlit thing that's measuring voltage, whereas this is much more precise, and it allows you to extend the life of your battery by taking care of it. So whenever you're done with this bike, you've taken a ride, make sure you bring it in and you charge it up and kind of keep it charged. So there's the battery pack, there's the motor. In this case, it's mounted in a rear saddlebag kind of configuration. You might be able to put it somewhere in the mid-frame, but again, it is fairly bulky, so it creates this sort of rear-heavy experience on a bike. But I must say, it's pretty easy to set up. E-BikeKit's been around since like 2008, and they were one of the first companies to use these quick connect, almost like headphone jacks. They just plug into each other. And that's great, because all you have to do is zip tie this to the bike, and if a part breaks, you disconnect it and you get a new display, or you unconnect it, you get a new throttle. And it's neat, they actually offer you a twist throttle and a thumb throttle when you get the kit, so you can set it up however you want. In this case, it's kind of a cruiser, so the throttle makes sense. You're kind of chilling out and just gunning it. But for mountain bikes and stuff, I like to use a thumb throttle because I can grip the handle without worrying about changing the speed. Now, these bikes don't offer pedal assist or anything. That would kind of complicate it, probably raise the price, and frankly, it'd probably just be like a simple pedelec that would be like on or off. So, I'm kind of fine with that, but that's worth noting if you're someone who's looking for pedal assist. You're gonna have to go to a higher end kit like Falco or Bionics or something like that. There's no regen, that kind of thing. You basically got 5 levels of power. And I know it says assist right here, but really it's just power level. So you turn the thing on, the screen lights up like this. It starts out in 1, and that just means the motor's not gonna go very fast. And then, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars, 5 bars. So 5 bars, you get the full power of the motor. I'm just gonna demonstrate it, yeah. And, it's not too loud. It's a pretty nice design, and this screen and everything is pretty well sealed against water. The wires are also protected, and I think they offer like a 2-year warranty. So the cool thing about this kit is it offers you, something that's in between the higher end kits that are really expensive and more complex and harder to set up, but something that's definitely a step up from like the lead kits or the Clean Republic Hilltopper. Those kits only offer just like a button. You press the button, it's on. You let go, it's off. This has this nice smooth, you can vary the amount of power that you're getting, and you got this nice display panel. It's pretty cool. And they even have these Tektro brakes that have built-in cutoff. You see this second wire? So here's the first wire for brakes. The second one tells the motor to shut off, and that's just kind of a neat safety feature. They actually aren't too difficult to install either. You just unscrew your brake cable from your the brakes that came with your bike, and you just swap the levers and then connect it. It's not like you have to rewire the thing. So yeah, it's neat. It's neat to see a kit like this. There's obviously those trade-offs. It's obviously like a value kit. It's fairly simple, but you could add this to your existing bike, the bike that you already own, so you're saving money, the bike that you already love, that fits you, has suspension, doesn't have suspension, whatever. It gives you that opportunity. And that's what they're really going for. So I'm gonna hop on this thing, do a little ride test, zipped up the battery, check, and yeah, that's the cool thing. You don't have to turn a switch on back here or anything. It's all right here. We're good. Okay. I'm in 5 bars right here, so that's the top power. I'm gonna throttle it. Sweet. Pretty good. It's feeling good. I'm gonna go up this loading dock just to see, what kind of force we get out of this for climbing with that extra torque. Okay, so I'm on a bit of an incline here at standstill. Struggling a little bit. I weigh about 130 pounds, and what I find is if you're starting from a complete rest, it's really hard for any electric bike motor to get you going unless it's sort of stepped up with gears or something like that. This one, if you get it going a little bit and then you throttle it, it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to try the grass here just to do another little power test. Standard top speed of 20 miles per hour, kind of what you'd expect. So that is the 350 watt geared hub motor kit from E-BikeKit.com. For more on this, other kits and electric bikes, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.